In January, I competed in the Australian Chainsaw Carving Championships. The event was hosted by Sky High Mount Dandenong, which isn't too far from Melbourne. It was my second time competing at the championships, and I have to say I was much more prepared this time. Last year I ended up carving a scene inspired by The Neverending Story. I was up until about 3 a.m. the night before working on the sketch, which was only half done by the time I started making cuts. This year, not only did I have a finished sketch well before the event started, I also had time to make a template, about the size of the logs we had the previous year, which allowed me to make bold initial cuts on the first day. The sooner I could clear out what didn't need to be there, the more time I had for fun little details. Before the competition started, we drew numbers and were assigned our logs. It's a way to keep it fair since no two logs are exactly the same. I drew one of the smallest logs this time. Last year I had the biggest. You never know how it's going to go, so you just have to stay flexible. Fortunately, even though I had less material to work with, my preparedness and having a template allowed me to fit my vision into the log fairly easily, even though it was smaller than what I was hoping for. I chose to sculpt a woman dancing. Often at chainsaw carving events, there's a lot of wildlife and more masculine type subjects. I wanted my piece to be very feminine and full of movement. I was amazed at how much the silhouette came through on the first day. I left plenty of time to experiment with the flow of her hair and swirls of clothing. The scarf was my favorite part to carve. I love leaving little spaces and openings in my sculptures. The wood starts to look lighter and a lot more delicate when you leave some empty places.
So one problem we just discovered, I brought all of my bits from America for the die grinder and the Dremel. Dremel I think should be fine, but the die grinder bits, the American shaft is larger than the tools used to here, so I borrowed a sleeve, but it's been kind of a whole thing to get it in and out. Of course I would bring like a heavy case full of stuff that I can't use, you know. Typical.
What are you doing?
I'm filming a little portion and talking about what's going on.
You're trying to film us, are you? You're not putting it on Facebook, are you?
Do you want to be on Facebook? No. So I got a little excited and was sculpting it, getting into our weightlessness of the piece, forgetting completely about how gravity influences sculpture and how there needs to be something solid there to hold her up. So my friend Jeff Sendus came by and suggested with wiping a new piece in that it would be worth doing to have her be weightless, and I agree with him. Luckily I've got some wood left over. I can build a chunk in here.
I wanted to raise at least one of her feet off the ground. I picked her back foot, leaving the toes of her front foot to connect to the base for strength. I was able to cut a wedge of wood from the large piece I cut off of the log at the very beginning. Once again, a little bit of planning paid off by giving me more material to work with later. I didn't place in the competition this year, but I did finish on time with much less stress than last year. It also sold at the auction to a really nice family with an absolutely beautiful garden. I'm really happy that she ended up exactly where she should be. It's a perfect fit.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. And if you appreciate the creative process and like to watch it unfold, you might want to check out one of these other videos. Or better yet, subscribe. Thank you.